Hey guys, so my name's Lockie King, for those of you that don't know me. For those of you that do know me, you probably follow me on TikTok and have seen the last couple of builds that I've done over the last couple of years. So this is my now second Ford Ranger Raptor. So this one is a 2020 Ford Ranger Raptor with a 2-litre diesel bi-turbo. My last one, absolutely loved it to bits. Unfortunately got written off on Stockton Beach on December last year, so I've just picked this one up off a good friend of mine. So I'll show you where we're starting with this build. I'm going to unbox a few things for you today for the first steps of the build, and then when the other parts arrive in a couple of weeks' time, we'll keep walking through and building it together as we go. So as I'm starting to find, it always looks way more when it leaves your bank account, not when it's sitting on the floor. So here we've got a collection of the parts that I have ordered over the last couple of weeks, plus there is many more things coming. So obviously there's new wheels and tyres going on it, and all that sort of thing, plus a myriad of other bits and pieces. But these are a few of the little bits that we're going to be installing over the next couple of weeks while we wait for the major parts to arrive. So as it sits right now, this car was currently built by my friend Luke, who was like, I'm incredibly thankful that he just had this thing lying around and didn't need it anymore and was ready to sell it. And at the perfect time, I was ready to buy. So as it sits right now, we have the Kayak Elite 3-post bull bar, with your integrated fog lights and bits and pieces like that. It's got a little steady 22-inch light bar in the grille. Behind here, Runva 11XP. And then underneath, if we come up to here, it's just got the King 2-inch lifted springs. These are heavy duty springs, so they will most definitely be coming out. They ride quite harsh. Toyo Open Country RTs in 35 by 12.5 R17 with KMC Maces in 17 by 8.5 POS 25. Kayak side steps, and then on the rear we've just got that Kayak rear bar with the sort of scrub rail style things. So today we're just going to do a couple of simple little bits and pieces that I much prefer. I personally don't like these factory tail lights, so we're just going to swap them out. There's also some clear indicators on the mirrors. We're going to swap out for the blacked out steady ones. It's got some steady cube lights, so the steady C4s. I think the ones on the front of the spreads, we're going to swap them out to a set of spots, just as ditch lighting. And then we're probably going to install a GME XRS 370C UHF today. So let's crack into it. Let's get to some unboxing. So first thing on the list is these. Ooh. Let's not do that. Alright, so next step is let's start unboxing some bits and pieces. So I may as well open everything up, show you guys what I've bought, so that in case you want to make the same financial mistakes as me, you've got a good guide on how to do so. So everybody likes unboxing videos. Jesus. These are our new tail lights. So these are the US Ranger Spec tail lights, which I much prefer. I had these on my old build and I absolutely loved them. So quite an easy install, these ones. Let's hop to it, eh? So these are a pretty easy install. It's literally just T-keys for the Ranger. So literally just pop this screw here out. Take him out, him there. One more down the bottom here. You'll notice they start to come pretty loose. And then what they do is, I know it sounds like they're breaking, they're not breaking. They literally just come out. There's like a little clip in there, they just slide out. I promise you it doesn't feel nice. So that comes out literally like that, it's still connected. So then I'm just going to sit that up here. You'll notice the cable just goes down through, so we've just got to trim that out. It comes up underneath here and there, plugged in, just in there. So just got to unplug them, pull the cables through, and then we just plug the new ones in. It's as simple as that. Alright, so sometimes these clips can be a little bit stubborn. With my last car, I had great difficulty getting this out. It's usually like a screwdriver and pliers job, which it looks like it is also going to be with this one. Ow! Well, no, never mind.
So it's this little clip here that's just giving me a bit of grief. It's just in a tight access spot. Just got to close that up and then feed it through. So now I've got that factory tail light out, which is this one here, which I'm not a massive fan of the design. I mean, it's alright for a standard car, it's not the worst I've seen, but I think these look way slicker. So these have the DRL that runs around the outside, where this has no DRL at all. I just think they look much tidier. Let's slap them in. So as I was saying before, those bits that sounded like they were breaking, there's just these two bits here, and then on the car, they just slot in to that bit there and that bit there. So it's just that snapping noise you hear is just them coming out. If you look at the old one, they didn't actually snap. They're just a bit tight. So then now to put these in, we just repeat the process in the reverse order. So sometimes it's a bit finicky to drop these through there because the plugs are so big and the hole's so small. But I'm just going to feed that in. Don't worry about tidying that right now, we can do that in a second. Then you just want to line up those two slide-in bits, and it's as simple as push her in, and then you just put these two screws back in on the inside. So just apply a little bit of pressure as you put it in. Because otherwise it'll be out of alignment, and nobody wants that. So you're going to do the same with the bottom one. Just as I said, apply a little bit of pressure. Not too much, don't put your whole body weight on it, but just enough to hold it in place. So then when you tighten it, it has a tight finish to the car and doesn't stick out at all. Because at the end of the day, they are just biting into a little plastic piece. You don't need to go too tight, just like that, and then just give them a little nip up. As I said, don't go too tight, they're just plastic, they will break. So there you go. Yeah, let's go now. They look so much better, don't they? So next up on the list is we are getting rid of those really, really ugly mirror indicators. Ford, you could have done a better job with that one. So these ones here are by far the scariest light on this car to swap out. This cover has to come off. It's just attached by a couple of clips, so we just got to pop them out, and then it slides out, and then we get access to this here. So let's get that steady, upgraded LED one in there. So open your box, simple as, you get a little one in there. And they are just the tiniest little plug on the back, and that's them, just like that right there. Slot in, replace that, direct fit. They are fantastic, and for $65, they're probably one of the sleekest little mods you could do just to make these cars look a whole lot better. So in behind the mirror glass, basically you fold the mirror glass all the way in and all the way down, and it gives you access to these two little clips. So you have to like a compression clip. So once you compress them, they just pop out, and that'll take this cover off, and that gives you access to this. So I'll just show you quickly these little mirror clips. So you'll see just there in that top right, that's where that mirror clip is. So we've got to quickly just pop that out, and then there's another one further around in there, which I probably won't be able to show you. But yep, so you got to get them out, and then that cover will just pop straight off. You got to be really, really careful when doing this, otherwise you're going to end up doing something you regret, and that's either shadowing your mirror glass or snapping these clips. They are really, really fidgety to get to, and it sounds like you're breaking it every step of the way. Cool. So once that's off, that exposes the back of the mirror there, and then it's as simple as this bit slides forward, you might need a little bit of pressure, pops out, and then just unplug that one there, globe comes directly out. I'm going to put him up there for the minute, grab our new steady replacement, go over there. Which then that there, she's not polarity sensitive, nice and easy, doesn't whinge too much. Plug it straight in. I'm going to tear the film off now, or risk losing it forever. Plus, my cars are four-wheel drive, so they do get used. So you go back in there, just get tucked in. Go in, please. And then that seal goes back into place.
where this will literally just tuck that edge back in there, and then just here there's a little key piece that just clips into place. Simple as that. And the mirror cap gets lined back up. Makes some really horrifying noises. And should behave and go back on.
So now we have these pretty LED sequential mirror indicators rather than the ugly ones that we had before. On both sides, they're all working beautifully. And then if we go around to the back, we also now have our new sequential taillights. Beautiful.
It just goes to show how much a little LED can make such a massive difference in the look of your car. So just a bit of sequential LEDs, they ended up coming up so much nicer, and then it's overall changed the whole look of the car, I feel.
Just makes it look that much more premium and modern.
So our next step is to mount up the XRS 370. So I'm going to start with the aerial and work my way back towards the cab. So I know where the unit's going to go. The unit is going to sit underneath the dashboard, probably around the glove box area, and then I'm going to run the aerial cable to the back of the cab, up the front of the tub, in between the back wall of the cab and the tub, and then the aerial will mount sort of on that back quarter there. So just picked up one of these brackets. I'm going to have to bend it, modify it a little bit to make it fit, but let's see how we go. Let's start trying to figure out how to put it all together. So this one's going to be a little bit more difficult than my last one. On my last one I had an electric roller shutter, and it was really easy to mount it because there was plenty of space up the front. So with this bracket, it's just a generic bracket from Supercheap. There's like a foam strip under here, so I'm going to try and sneak it under and then bolt it on the bottom side. So I might have to bend up the bracket a little bit, spin it that way. I'll bend it back like around and then down, and then drill a hole and bolt it through. So it's going to take a little bit of custom work to make it fit, a little bit of panel beating. On this episode of Lockie making his life more difficult by not using a knife when he should use a knife. Cool, so let the custom fab work begin. We're going to start by having to bend that back the other way. So I'm going to chuck this on the bench vise, grab a hammer, start beating it until it works. So the thing that's led me to the decision of just cutting a little slit and dropping it through is this tub liner does not seal at all. So it doesn't worry me about cutting through it. And if you look here, there's nowhere to actually get it through. I'm going to try and pick up this bolt. And the easiest way for me to do that is just to cut a little slit and drop it through, because there's not enough access between there to actually drill anything or anything like that. So, and this is all clamped. So I was thinking about maybe slipping it underneath and then just tech screwing it or something through there, which would in theory maybe work, but I don't see that working out. By the time I kick it over and then back up, I'm not going to have enough material. So, and I don't have anything lying around, and it's a Saturday, so like late on a Saturday, so there's no other access. So like there's holes in the corner of it and stuff, so there's not a whole lot of point. Oh, it's not a nice feeling. I want to cut the absolute bare minimum possible. This is probably not the most accurate way I could cut it either. There we go. Drop that through there. Now we'll just bolt it from the underside. Alright, so I've just cut my little slit in the tonneau cover, cut another hole in the bracket to clearance another bolt that's in there, and now I'm just by hand doing this up to make sure we have enough clearance. So far, that looks alright to me. It basically operates just by a little lever action, spring-loaded lever, and it locks in. So they're a fantastic design from GME. They're sweet, and your aerial just mounts on here, and then you can have it sticking up all day, and then when it's time to come home and you've got tight car parks or low-lying tree branches, you can just pull the lever out, which is spring loaded, drop, and it's locked away. It then sits along here and it's nice and safe. So perfect design. I've had them on all my cars, plus they look fantastic. So next up, we have to open up this XRS 370. It's going to lie it on its back. There's just a couple of bits of tape along here. I think that might actually be it. Snake her out. Lo and behold, there is our kit. So I did opt for the 2.1 DBI option because I feel like this is what best suits this car. So then if we take this bit here, walk around, spin this nut off. So now this will sit right on there, just like that. With these, you drop this through, drop it straight through the center, and you've got to try and get it poked out in this bit in here. That'll protect your cable once you get it through. Feeding it's a bit of fun. And then make sure you don't tear the edge of the coax cable and don't fold the coax cable too much. Coax cables are really, really sensitive. Just like you also don't want to bunch up a coax cable, you're better off to spread it out because then you'll get interference. You also, coming from a Sparky background, is you also don't want to run your data cables directly next to your power cables because then once again you'll end up with interference. So we just keep running this through, make sure that the metal from the bracket is not slicing at all through the edge of the insulation. All through. And there we go, right there. So it's time for more horrible noises as we start to pull the interior apart to get access to that grommet to run the cable. These are the parts that scare me the most, and I honestly hate pulling interiors apart. I generally tend to use a bit more force than necessary. And as you can imagine, it's quite easy to damage pieces in here. And then you'll forever be stuck with rattles. So the easiest way I do it is find a gap. And you sort of just keep your eyes on the gap to what's catching where and where's the next bit that needs to come out. Sure enough, just here is the grommet that I need to run my cable through. So that'll put it through the back firewall, and then I can run the cable all the way along the back of the cab up to the UHF antenna. So I've just managed to get draw wire through that grommet in the back there. So now I've just got to run this cable. I'm going to just tape it on, attach it to there, and hopefully pull it through. And then I'm just going to run through all underneath there to the front, to just behind the glove box to where it's going to be put. So we have finally got everything run through. It's all underneath the kick panels and the trim pieces. And then now we've just got that end for the antenna. So I'm just going to tuck the box up under the dash, and then it runs all the way through, up behind here. I haven't tied it up yet, but it will run across the back, and the aerial's just there. So that's the UHF sort of 50% installed. I'm just going to keep messing around with it, and we'll try and get that box under the dash and get the next bit in. I just finished wiring up the UHF. It's all tucked neatly underneath the dash. Aerials on the back, and I just tested it and we're all working. So thanks for watching today's video, guys. Hopefully that showed you the first few little steps of getting into this build. I'm sort of just waiting now on the key pieces to arrive, and then once all that arrives, then we can start getting into the custom bar work and the bigger wheels and tires and stuff like that, and then it'll look like a whole different car. So stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching.